Good evening and walk into Bridging the Gap. BTG Magazine, Bridging the Gap between youth, adults, parents. Tonight you have Coach Ray, myself, Dr. Nat, and we are here talking about stress management.
Huh.
Perfect topic today.
For summer vacation to have for me working in education, the
Yeah,
topic of stress management is key
it is.
because
It is.
when school comes back, we back at learning how to manage our stress in the process of trying to help students manage their stress.
Managing it all. And, we as adults, that's part of it. If we don't take this serious time, like you said, this serious summer season and get what we need, that vacation, that downtime, that I don't have to plan anything at all, but
Right.
maybe preparing our students for what they need next. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's how we're going to stay healthy, and that's how we're going to stay balanced, and that's how we're going to help them as well. So, we've been talking about this extreme heat. All kinds of things are going on just around us, our communities. So, Coach, just even do you have a routine as we talk about this of what you do every summer? Are you going to adopt some newer things? Tell us like how you're preparing your students so that you can even talk to the parents and the other adults.
Um,
Everything
my
starts.
routine is simple. I'm stepping out of the norm myself and just trying to relax a little bit
Right.
because I'm not used to it.
Okay.
And I'm being honest, so it's kind of hard for me to be able to help people manage theirs when I'm not relaxed because I haven't vacationed since I was 24. I haven't. Last time I was 24 years old, I haven't been on a week long vacation, and I've been going since then. And so now I'm relaxing myself that so I can be prepared mentally, because the reality is I know that there are going to be stressful scenarios that are going to come, but I have to be relaxed. So
Right.
when they do come, I'm not panicking internally.
Yes.
So that's my new thing is I'm going to take time to go somewhere and relax,
Right.
just to get myself prepared for what's yet to come.
So you just said something, where the lecture wants to almost kick in. You got to take a vacation. You got to take a vacation. And we're going to even call it what they say a staycation
Hmm.
so that you can, like you said, you can be refreshed. So you know that though about yourself. You know that that's something you have to do. And it could be as simple as, yeah, you don't have to go all the way away to another country. But if that means even you sitting in your backyard and doing absolutely nothing, that's what you need to do.
And I'm
So,
okay with that now.
yeah,
Whereas
definitely.
before, I would feel like that I was missing something, or
Right,
something wouldn't get taken care of.
right.
Somebody's gonna drop the ball somewhere, so I got to make sure I'm present. And I was
Mm-hmm.
telling a story about a week ago to some friends of mine, and I was like, COVID year,
Yeah,
I felt like I did football for a year straight as a coach, like with no break. Like that's what it felt like.
that's what it felt like.
And in that time, I didn't take the time to breathe, and I was so exhausted,
Mm-hmm.
mentally drained. I was tired, but I was
Mm-hmm.
still going. And so now I'm definitely in that mindset where I'm like, hey, coach, look, I need this day off.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, if something happened to me, y'all gonna mourn for a little bit, but y'all gonna replace me within a month. So I need to take some time off. I need to be with my family and spend some time with them. So
That's
that's
right.
my stress management. It's just taking a day off here or there.
Exactly. Because if you have this full time schedule, and as like teachers and coaches, we don't really get like this downtime. You're actually preparing and thinking ahead. You're always
Right.
thinking ahead of what can I learn? What book do I maybe need to read so that I will be better later on? But that's really important. Now you said something really key as I think about it because I've had to be intentional, and even I'm thinking about as this weekend is going forward, I'm being very intentional. I heard about an opportunity to go do something restful, and it's near my house. So I need to make sure. And I thought about it on the context of saying to a student, how was your summer? What did you do?
Hmm.
But what if they ask me that back? You know, Professor, what did you do? How did you relax? How did you make it? And it's almost like show and tell. Remember show and tell when we were
Yeah, yeah.
younger? What did you do this summer? We have to be intentional that we're going to be able to, number one, tell the truth of, I did do something where I'm practicing what I'm preaching, that I did what I needed you to do, get it together, relax, take that mental break, and get healthier. Because part of rest is you're getting healthier each time you make a conscious effort to rest, because that's it's required of us.
And what we miss is because we feel like, and I said it before,
Mhm.
where you feel like you're missing something. But what you're missing is rest.
Right.
That's what you're missing. And so, I used to think about, even when I was growing up, and you brought up show and tell.
Right.
And when teachers ask, "Well, what did you do to your this summer?" And like my first, like elementary school kids would always have like these. Oh, well, we went to Europe and we went here and this, and then they would look at me and be like, "Ray, what'd you do?" I just visited my grandparents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was vacation for us. Was going down to Florida to see my dad's father. That was vacation. So as I got older
Yeah.
in high school, and these friends would like they were backpacking in Europe as seniors in high school,
Right.
doing all these things, and I'm like, I missed out on a lot. I didn't get to go. Like I had friends, even as an adult, I had friends that were going to like All Star Weekend and all
Mhm.
these other places, and I was like, no, I got to work. I got to do this. So I missed out on the relaxation time in my 20s
Mhm.
and in my early 30s, and even now. So like, I'm getting ready to turn 40. I'm like, nah, I can't be 40. The 40s can't look like the 20s and the 30s.
All right now. Yeah.
They can't. Like they can't look like that. Like I gotta actually spend some time relaxing because when I get back to school, I want my kids to know I've had experiences too. I'm not just telling y'all to go have experiences because
Exactly.
that's my goal is to help them have experiences. But I want to be able to say, no, I did this. You should go. You should ask your parents, can y'all go there next summer? Like,
Exactly. That makes me think a lot about even exchange programs. I remember before when we were younger, you only heard about college kids getting to do things. Now, in high school, at younger ages, you are able to go and explore those possibilities. So
mhm.
we can even encourage those that are listening, have those opportunities to be able to do that, where you can go out and look, see things, go see parts of the world that if you see an opportunity to see them, do it. And we know travel can even be expensive.
It's very expensive,
It
but
can
if you can plan,
plan. Right.
and this is to parents,
Yes.
get your kids some experiences.
Yeah.
Like those things, like long gone are the days of like, yes, cool. You want to take them to an amusement park, but kids do that together with their group of friends now.
Right.
So it's easily accessible for a group of 6 kids to drive to Busch Gardens or Kingston. Like that's
Mhm.
normal now.
Right.
So as a parent, you want your kid to have experiences that you didn't have.
Yeah.
Because even we're talking about relaxation and stress management, but the opportunity to say I went here is stress management because it's fun for the kid.
Right.
And I think nowadays we've gotten so many parents who've become so selfish. And me, I gotta dig, I gotta start throwing the digs in to be real.
Yeah.
That you got people who've been to Miami, who've been to New York, but all these places, but their kids only been to like the jump park in the neighborhood,
Right.
and maybe to a couple other places. But you done been all over the country. You done been all over the country and then some. But your kid hasn't been outside of their area. It pains me
Mm.
when parents have, oh, I need a relaxation trip or I need a meet trip and I need to stay, I need this, I need that. Whole time you like your kids, they probably stressed out too.
They're definitely stressed out too. If
Taking
you
them to grandma's house ain't stress management because grandma got them cleaning.
But now you said something important though. Even let's take it back because we're talking a little bit more old school in a way. But that can have been some of the best memories. Now that family bond that you get from going to see the family in the summertime, for a lot of people, hopefully, that is part of what gave them that foundation of who they are as people. That was the goal anyway. Learn something. The northern kids got shipped down south. The southern kids actually came up north and probably got a job, but they needed to learn that difference. But we're building that foundation, the same thing we're talking about when we're saying our students and our parents. you're building that foundation of family. But then as you continue and you say, go ahead and do those small things, but also go ahead and expose your children to take them on a trip outside of the water park, like you're saying. Take them somewhere, even if you have to make it a milestone. Yes, we know you definitely deserve, because you work hard, you're an adult, and now you want to go to the Caribbean. Maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe it needs to be a second honeymoon trip, whatever
Yeah.
it takes. But also at that younger age, the majority of kids probably go maybe to the big amusement parks like the Disneys and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I would even say, especially when you have these a teenage daughter and or son, of course, take your children to the first major trip that they're going to experience in their life to
Yeah.
make that memory. You get them that first passport to take them somewhere. If you can do it for yourself, but you need to give them the best experiences that you can give, because
My my biggest vacation outside of visiting my grandparents, I
mm-hmm,
was 24.
mm-hmm.
My dad was like, and this is not my, because I at the time they had taken my little brother to Disney quite a few times. And so
Ah,
I'm at 24,
okay.
and my dad's like, "You going with us?" I'm like, what you mean? You going on vacation? Like because I wouldn't normally go. I'm like, I'm chilling at the house. I'm good.
Yeah.
My dad's like, "Nah, you going?" And so his lynch the strategy that he used, he was like, "Tell your girl she can come too."
And maybe he'll go. Right.
So my mom was like, "Well, tell your girlfriend she can go on vacation with us," and so that right there was like, "All right, now he'll go." So the lady I was dating at the time in my 20s, she came with us,
Yeah.
and it was a great, fun trip.
It was a
You
memory.
know, being in close quarters with my mom and dad as a grown person for like over a week became a little bit stressful. We had our little bouts and stuff like that, but being able to get up and just go in the pool when I felt like it,
Mm-hmm.
being able to just relax in a sauna when I felt like it, to be able to go work out just because it's like oh man, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I ain't got nothing to do. Okay, let me go lift weights.
Mm-hmm.
And going to Universal as a big kid, like went to Universal Studios. Like, so I was relaxed when I got back. I was
Exactly.
able to function more when I got back because that week off, other than, it was just fun. And I think what we miss when we're talking about stress management,
Yeah.
we're looking, we bypass the fun part sometimes. It's just like, I just want to relax. I just want to
Right.
go somewhere where I can just pick my feet in the sand and just relax. No, like I want to do stuff. I don't want to just sit on the beach for 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's go sightseeing. Let's go do this. Because to me, find out what your stress management is.
How about that? Exactly.
Because everybody's is different.
You said it.
And you can't penalize somebody for their stress management looking or being different. And
Right.
I think we do that because somebody doesn't want to go. Like, I'm not going to sit at the beach for 8 hours, but my wife might. Okay, cool. So don't get in your feelings when I'm going off here and do that, because this is what I like to do to relax. So I think that when we are doing stress management, we have to remember that everybody operates differently, even your kids.
Right.
So when they're on vacation, understand that they're going to operate differently. Their stress management might be for them to be in their phone for a lot of the day. You're on
And
vacation,
just
you can't
laugh.
let
Yeah.
them have it.
I got you.
We're all relaxing. Let them have it. Don't fight a battle that's not. They do it at home, but now you got them on vacation. Are you still in your phone? You do it at home. That's the way they relax. Hey,
Definitely.
and set the schedule. Hey, I know you like to chill. You want to be in your phone. You want to go to the pool. But at 6 o'clock, we're all going to dinner together. You
Exactly.
got the
And that's
whole
it.
day.
The boundaries.
You got boundaries. Hey, I'm gonna give you your time by yourself, but at 6 o'clock, we're all going to dinner together. No phones, no nothing. So I'm giving you this now so that when it comes, there's no surprise. So I'm not just walking in the room, boom, put the phone down, everybody, let's go to dinner. And now your kid got an attitude because you know what I'm saying?
You took
So
everything away.
yeah,
Exactly.
like no, you set the boundary before y'all got there.
Yeah.
Listen, every night at 6, we're going to dinner. No phones, no iPads, but we're all gonna spend time together. The rest of the day is yours.
Right.
I think that's fair.
No, it's it. And think about it. We use the word all the time when we're talking about bridging the gap. It's strategizing. Strategize how you are going to stay less stressed.
Yeah.
Prepare before you go. And I'll take it a little bit further because I know this was a rule and it kind of still is family wise. Make it to 3 times a day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or maybe just breakfast and dinner. Because I mean, you got teenagers, you want them to maybe be able to go out and do something on their own. But no, we're going to break bread together. That's one of my favorite things to say to people because we need to create, we need to strategize. That might even be some of the time when we talk about doing these family meetings and things we're going to plan out. This is now July, we're going on this vacation, but by December, we want to do this. And maybe we as a family, while we're sitting down on this vacation, we can talk about some of those things because we have everybody's attention and everybody's relaxed.
And think about it, you got kids that you might have a kid that's a senior in high school that's getting ready to go off to college.
Exactly.
You don't want to make that last vacation before they go off to college tense.
Yes.
You don't want to make it tense where they start kind of like, oh, that resentment builds up during the vacation. So yes, strategizing in December for a vacation in July. Yeah. Hey, we're going to Barbados in July as a family. You got, like you said, breakfast is going to be every morning at 8.
That's right.
6 o'clock is dinner. At 8 and 6, we're together.
We're together.
We're together. Right. In between that time, that's your time.
Yeah, I like
that's your time. I'll give you your money. You do what you do. Just make sure at 6 o'clock, we are at dinner.
That's right.
Because now your kids they're old enough to say, okay, you know what? Let me give them a couple hours. And then you say, hey, we're going to take one whole day where we're all together.
Right. And that's the whole plan. I even say the phones are there for emergency even only. Mm-hmm. They're off or they're on vibrate. They're in one place, one bag, whatever. And you're talking about we're together as a family. We're doing the rides. We're sitting on the beach. Yeah. We're exploring this place that we decided to go to, that we spent money to go to. We strategized as a family how to have a good time, how to find the goodness in the life that we're leading together. And when you're talking about having teenagers where they're going to now come out of your household and go away, that's a shift in your family dynamic.
Yeah.
When you think about it, and yeah, you need to talk about those things because you don't want it where that you have that student that does not want to come home for any breaks because now, before they even left, there was a problem.
And how do you fix that? So right. we're talking about summertime vacation. You start doing that during the year.
Yes.
You start kind of conditioning them for that during the year.
Right.
So it might be little things like, hey, Sunday is family day.
Yes.
You kind of start that slow. Like Sunday, I know, hey, the rest of the week, you got school, you got this, you got that. Saturday, you like to hang out with your friends. Sunday is family day. Sunday, we're all together.
Right.
I'm only asking for one day. And you kind of start setting that precedence early. And so what you do is you start conditioning your kid for that. So you might have Monday, Wednesday, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 8 o'clock is dinner. As a family, we have dinner together, and then you go about your way. Sunday is family day, so we spend that whole day together. Now you're conditioning your kid for the vacation so that it's less stressful for you, and you're not fighting with your kid for them just to spend time with you because you've already conditioned them for that.
Definitely. And it's never too young to start that. You can start teaching the young kids.
Yeah, you can start teaching them early. Because I have a system with my daughter. Like when my daughter is with me, it's a system. I don't eat dinner with her, but I eat dinner. I'm with her while she eats dinner. So like, cause I like to make sure she's good. So I'll eat when she goes to bed. But when she's eating, I'm right there.
Right.
Because that's me, other than us being around each other the whole day, but that's a time where we're kind of wound down. We're starting to kind of come down, but we're able to just watch TV and eat, like watch her eat. So like I have certain things that I do that are conditioning. So at 8 o'clock, 7:30, she knows, all right, I'm about to eat dinner. We're going to watch Walker, Texas Ranger. And when it's time for bath and bed, Daddy's going to be there watching me read a book. It's bedtime. So these things are already rituals that we've created as a thing, or traditions that we're starting to create. So when we go out of town, it doesn't break. It's just in a different place.
That's it.
Same plan, same thing. We're just in a different place. I think you have to start setting that precedent early rather than arguing for it when you're on vacation.
That's a great point. Like you said, set it where it's okay and then no arguments later. Now, think about that too. You said something because we always talk about this. I mean, we even talked about it in June. We talked about fathers and even in May with mothers, but showing your children how important they are to you by spending that time. And that's part of what the whole dynamic is about. You're important. We're going to do things together. And when your children know that you're the most important, and we as adults, we want time with our kids as well and with our families. So yes, we're going to spend time together and we're going to do things so that 20 years from now when you have your own family, you will understand why we put these
The
foundations.
traditions. And
Right.
unfortunately, this is the other, always there's always a second jab.
Right.
Unfortunately, we've gotten to a society where we think money is what brings us together. Like as
Yeah.
I'm doing right by my kids because they have everything.
Right.
Absolutely not. That is the least important thing. You
How about
know, monetization, things that are monetized and tangible only last but so long. A kid doesn't remember the first pair of shoes you ever bought. A
no?
kid doesn't remember the first game system. I remember the first game system we bought because my dad played it with us.
How about that? That's what you remember.
I remember my
Played it with
dad
you.
playing Nintendo with us. I remember my dad and my uncle and my mom. We would have like days of the week. My uncle would come over and we all sit in the living room and play video games.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember playing Tecmo Bowl with my dad versus getting me a game system just to get me out your face. You didn't create a tradition. What you created was a block from between you and your kid.
A distraction.
You created a
Made them
distraction
seem
for
like a
you.
distraction.
And see, what people think is that it's a satisfaction for their kid, but it's actually a distraction for their kid from them.
That's right.
And there's no satisfaction in that long term. Like my daughter's been begging me for a Nintendo Switch. I've not gotten it for her yet. Why? Because we have a dynamic where we do stuff together. So if I
Right.
get you this Nintendo Switch, there's an element that might disappear, and I got to try to figure out how to navigate that to not allow it to happen. So setting times and
Right.
you can play it for an hour today, but only on Saturday. So I think parents have gotten away from spending time with their kids because they've spent so much time complaining about the time that they don't have. They forget that the time that their kids need to have is important.
Right.
You need to spend time with your kids because it's not an option. Because what's going to happen is you're going to look up one day and they're going to be grown.
Yeah.
And the only thing that they're going to have to remember you by is what you spent money on. That's not that good. I'm being real. And
No,
people
it's
don't feel like I'm
true. Yeah.
crazy. Like because you spent thousands of dollars on prom doesn't mean that your kid has great memories with you.
Yeah. That makes the difference between we being adults and wanting to spend time with our parents as they get older, as we get older, because we've set this foundation literally from childhood, hopefully. And again,
Yeah,
that's not too late to do. And we're talking about summertime. We know we don't even want our students, the kids to lose some of those skills.
yeah.
They forget math problems and everything else. But that's even part of it. Making some of that student success, as we talk about, make it where once a week, even, which is still not a lot of time, but just even doing a review of what do you need to do? What do you need to prepare for? And how can I help you as
Yeah.
your parent? Do you need extra help? There's something to that to be able to, again, I'm investing in making you a better person. And it may not be something you want to do all the time with me,
And
but
I
you'll
think
thank
that's why I
me
say
later.
like you have to you can schedule it out.
Yes.
You can balance it. Because I mean, let's be real, they're teenagers, so they know they're not gonna want to be up under you all day.
Yeah.
But you have to, as a parent, say this is the time that we're gonna spend together.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be super deep. It could be y'all just having like a conversation about watching a movie together once a week.
Once a week.
Once a week. Just we can watch a movie together once a week. That's it. It ain't gotta be nothing deep. It ain't got to be nothing extra. It's just, yo, what movie you want to watch today? And start and watch how it changes, because your kids actually going to start looking forward to it. At first, it might be like, oh my God, I don't want to do this, blah, blah. They text any friend, she making me watch a movie with her. But let it keep happening.
Yeah.
Hey, it's movie day, it's Thursday. What you want to watch? And watch how they'll start to look forward to it. They might not show it at first, but they'll start to look forward to it, because now you're spending time, and spending time is the only currency you can't get back.
How about that?
And I say that all the time. Like, it's the only currency you can't get back. Once 5 o'clock today left, we don't repeat 5 o'clock again today.
Yeah.
So what we have to remember is, spending money, you can always do that. But that hour and a half where you spend with your kid watching a movie is going to mean so much more of them long term than you buying them a pair of Jordans when they're 15. I promise you that.
It's priceless. It's absolutely priceless.
Yes.
I think about one of the, and you said it, and I remember even thinking about the fact when you talk about doing things with your daughter, and they're really emphasizing in these last few years where now you see more of that, and daddy daughter dances and things, really letting men see how much of an influence they really do have in their children's lives. Not something that they should have had to ever be reminded of, but we do have to be intentional, again, strategic. You talked about that. So taking your daughter on a date, showing her what it's like to be treated a certain way, like, again, she's the focus, she's important. I think one of the fondest memories I have is my dad worked at night. So often when I would have to stay up by the time I got to be a teenager and kind of stay up late and do things, during that break time, he was intentional of actually purposely calling me just to be able to talk that one-on-one, because he knew I was up. He probably didn't want me up, of course, but he knew I was. So he was really intentional at night, late at night. It was almost like I would go to sleep, get things done on purpose, go to sleep a little bit earlier, because I knew he would probably call and wake me up, but I could go right back to sleep. But I knew that the conversation was going to be focused in on what he and I talked about. When we see each other the next day, that'd be fine. But it was something about someone's taking a time that's carved out for them and making it for me.
And that's why I say it means so much more.
It does. I can think now that he's gone. That's one of my fondest memories.
When you carve out, like, one of the things for my dad, and I regret it to this day, because I was getting older, and I wanted to be. I was getting older. My dad always wanted to go fishing. So when I was younger in summertime, I would go fishing with him. But you get older, and you start thinking I want to go with my friends, and then my dad's like, "Yo, we going fishing on Friday. You trying to go all night? Dad, I'll catch you next time." And then and I when he started kind of he started getting sick or whatever, but he still would go. I remember one time my mom telling me, like, go. He used to go on boat trips, like with people from the church, go on boat trips fishing.
Right.
And my mom was like, "You need to go with him at least one time." And I went with him. I got seasick because I wasn't used to being on a boat, but I had fun.
Yeah.
Because you have to understand that even in the process of time, like 30 minutes is a good enough time. Like, me and my dad would have these conversations, even in the car when I worked for him, just the car ride.
Yes.
To work. Or when I was in high school, my senior year of high school, he drove me to school every day. Like, those times in the car, like, that was valuable time. So when we look at what we're doing for our kids as parents, or with our kids as parents, like, we got to stop looking at money as the end all be all.
That's right.
Money is temporary. It comes and goes. But the time that you spend with your kid, the memories that you make from the conversations, the TV times you watch, just riding the car, like, those are invaluable. They will never forget the conversations you had on a car ride to school versus sending them to the mall with some money in their hand. They gonna thank you for it.
Yeah.
But the car ride to the mall, the conversation in the car from the mall,
is the
value.
Right.
And we have to get back to the value of being parents. And I know we were talking about stress management and things like that, but we always kind of shift a little bit because
It's okay.
in order for you to to have stress management in the home, you got to equip your home to be stress free. And in order to equip your home to be stress free, you have to be involved in your home. It's
Right.
not going to naturally become stress free.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away just because you naturally like, oh, I need to get a nap. I'm tired. No, like you got to be active in there and you create the precedents that you want.
Right.
And I think that's what we have to get back to, or we have to get to in this generation, is creating the atmosphere in our home that we want. We want stress-free living in our home, then we got to create that.
Right. Your home should be, in a way, a safety zone
Yeah.
away from the world. And we know that. We see the world we live in. Even the fact of no matter almost where we've been in this country, there's been smoke, there's been bad weather. Your home, even more than COVID, is becoming a haven, hopefully, where you may realize how much you're going to have to spend in your home as
It
we
should be a
progress.
safe space, though. It
You
should be
do
your home should be the safe space that you desire
what you
in your
desire.
life. One of my friends, he has his house. Everything he desires on the outside of the house is in his house. It's a
Yeah.
safe space.
Just an oasis, as they would even say.
Like he leaves the house for work, and if him and his wife decide to go out on a date, in his house is everything. Man cave, like decked out. So when we go watch the games, we watch it in his house. It's laid out. He ain't got to go nowhere. So you create the atmosphere of that you want, the stress-free environment that you want. You create that.
Yeah.
And you can't complain about your house being stressful if you haven't took the initiative to make it stress-free.
Definitely. You said something that's making me even think. One, and I'm not putting this together, but even the fact that I recognized during this time period, I needed a background that made me happy. So a lot of people comment when they see me in this particular space because I recognize the need that, if nothing else, especially since we were looking at each other so much in these little boxes, you needed to feel like you were in a space that was unique to you, doing what you needed to do. And maybe that's what we can even invite. When I see some of the things that I do and some of the things that we talked about, we all do, it's important that here you know what you're needing to do to start that stress-free zone. And if you
Right.
don't have it, this is what we're talking about. Stress management. You're going to go on vacation like Coach is.
Yeah. And even like just remember
You're going,
your stress management is in your control.
it's in your control.
If
And
you are overwhelmed, take a day off.
yeah,
I
the
promise you,
world is
if
going
you got the
to
time
function.
stored up, let me take the time off. If if you overwhelmed, take that day off here or there. Relax for a day.
Yeah,
Binge watch a TV show. Your kids are going to school, whatever. Take that day off and just enjoy a day. I've learned to do that and I know we got to get to the end,
oh no, you're
but
fine.
I remember early on when I worked in the school system, I wouldn't take time off. I would just go to work. We're talking like 182 days straight. I would go in late or leave early, but I wouldn't take a day off. And then I found myself getting beat down. I was
Oh yeah,
tired. I was stressed out. And this one particular year, I wound up in the hospital.
that's the key. The sickness will
The sickness
tell
started
on
to
you.
seep in. So after that, I kind of started taking like a day off here, day off there. Now I got my time stored up. I'm using that. I'm using my time
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, like you ain't paying me for it when I leave.
and you'll be replaced. You said it
And I'm
earlier.
replaced.
You'll be replaced, and it people will grieve, but you'll be replaced.
And you're not
And
gonna cut me a check for
you
the
want
hours.
to be almost irreplaceable, and you definitely want to be irreplaceable in your children's lives
Yeah.
as well as your family's life.
And you're not gonna cut me a check for the hours I got stored up.
Not at
So
all.
I'm gonna
You just
use it.
use them or lose them.
When I was in North Public Schools, I had over 300 sick hours stored up
Yeah.
just from not taking days off.
Yeah.
And I had to use like 100 and something of it when I was sick.
Exactly.
So, either you gonna be smart and manage your stress wisely, or God gonna manage it for you.
That's it.
And he gonna say, I'm gonna sit you down for about 3 weeks because you ain't trying to rest. Because he does it.
He will do it, and we both talked about it. We've had those moments. It's part of even our journey of life of why are you the way you are? Why do you think? Why do you do what you do? Because you know how important life is. You know how important you are to those in this life, and we have work to do.
Yeah.
We have people to mentor. We have initiatives to even start, begin,
We
finish,
have
all of
plenty of
those
things
things.
and I'm glad you said that because I need to inbox you about something anyway.
Yeah,
Because I'm for real, you hit the nail on the head. We got an initiative to start,
that's
and
right.
I'm like, yo, and God has really been convicting me. And I'll say this before we get ready to close.
Yeah.
God has really been convicting me because you feel like I'm the type of person I feel like I don't like to leverage my people I know, and like my connections. God has convicted me. He's like, I brought you to these people for a reason.
I had that conversation kind of recently. So yeah, we would definitely continue that.
Yeah.
As you share that with someone else, think about this. I don't know if this is where you were going. I'm cutting you off a little bit, but
No, you're good.
that's part of it. We have to recognize when things about being used, because sometimes when we think we're being used or getting or going to use someone if we connect with them. But yeah, no, it's part of the same way we want these connections for our students, our kids. We want them to understand what they need to do to succeed. If they get that opportunity, say they were walking down the street on that vacation and somebody famous is walking through Disney with them and they like what they have on and they start talking, are they not going to talk to that person because, oh, they're going to think I'm trying to connect with them? I know I'm kind of going grand
No,
scale
no,
with
no, but
that.
that's real. That's real.
Take opportunities. We talk about that all the time. Take the opportunities and make the best, because you may be doing something to advance where you're supposed to be, thus making your life less stressful,
And
more stress free.
that part.
Keep rhyming, not doing it on purpose, but I love that that's what we're talking about. It's,
It
yeah,
is.
connect, connect,
Managing
connect,
stress
connect.
is, look at it like this, and this is my last point
Yeah.
because I know we gotta get ready to get off. When you sprain your ankle, that's putting and what happens is that the muscles have stress to them, right? So to alleviate stress, they give you crutches.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to lean on the other leg and the other ankle to alleviate stress on the hurt one. I remember when I tore my Achilles, I couldn't put stress on it because I would fall straight down. There was nothing attached. So I had to put the stress on the other leg.
That's
But
it.
I was able to function because I was able to take stress off of the painful foot and lean it on the one that wasn't. And I think that's one of the things when we talk about stress management in this world, we have to learn how to lean on the people who are there to take the pressure off the other side. So there's things that you're trying to do that you're not good at that's stressing you out, but you're attached to someone that is. Hey, can you help me out with this because I'm getting stressed out. I don't know what I'm doing here. Can
Yeah.
you help me out and show me how to do this so I won't be stressed out?
Yeah.
That's what
We're,
stress management is in the other element.
we're a
Leaning
team.
leaning on the people and creating systems to make things easier for yourself. That's all stress management is.
I love it. I love it. So as we wrap up, that's part of it. We're always going to give a homework assignment. Our
Yep.
assignment is share with us what you're doing. Summer is almost officially halfway over. We're in the middle of July. What are you doing to eliminate some of your stress? How are you managing your stress? And if you haven't, and you're here in the middle of this month, you make sure that you get intentional, strategic about what you need to do to have less stress and go forward and do the best thing you can. Make it happen. Only you can do it. It can be controlled and it can be made into something better again in your life. So I don't know. What do you think, coach?
I think that at the end of the day, you want to manage your stress. Remember, like what I said, is find ways to lean on the people that are there to help you manage your stress. Take time and take a breath
That's
because the longer you hold it in, the harder it's going to be to let go of. Take
that's
a
it.
breath. And my last point before we close, and I know I said I'm on preacher mode with the last point, but this is my final point. If you don't take a breath, then breath can be taken from you.
Right. And the longer you hold your breath, when you come back off of it, it's harder to
It's
get
harder.
your air back.
It's harder to
It's
catch it. It's harder to catch it when
harder
it's
to catch
taken
it.
from you.
So you don't want to take it from you, and you don't want to just hold it in. Get it out.
Take that breath and relax. Take a day. It's gonna be
Relax.
all right. It's gonna be.
Definitely.
I promise you, the job. I promise you, they ain't gonna hurt. They ain't gonna hurt with that one day off. You'll be okay.
Yes. As my
Unless you a neurosurgeon or a heart surgeon that has to be there. Take a day off.
yes.
Love y'all. Thank
Yes.
y'all for tuning in.
We thank you. Let us know how you're de-stressing.
Y'all be blessed.
Be blessed.